All right, everyone, welcome back. Today, we're diving deep, deep into the Reseller's Guide to a Year in FBA.
Written by the one and only Stephen Smotherman.
Yes, it's all about making that Amazon dream, that dream of yours, into a year-round business, a profitable one at that.
Yeah. You know how some sellers, they kind of treat it like a sprint, right? A big push for the holidays and then, they coast.
Oh, yeah.
Smotherman, he says, nope. He thinks that consistent strategic action, that's the key. Throughout the year, that's what makes or breaks a successful business.
I like that. Consistency.
Yeah.
No, this book, it's got like this really cool structure to it. It's a month-by-month plan. It's like a roadmap.
It is.
I'm really curious to see how this works practically, in the real world.
That monthly structure, it makes it so much easier to digest, right?
Yeah.
Instead of one massive to-do list, it's like these bite-sized goals. So why don't we jump right into January?
Okay, January. I feel like most people are probably like recovering from the holidays,
Yeah.
but this book says January is prime time for a totally different reason,
It
really.
is, yeah. It's all about post-holiday clearance sales. Think about it. Retailers, they're desperate to clear out all that seasonal inventory. You can get some awesome deals,
Oh, yeah.
which means you can snag products at super low prices. It's a gold mine. For resellers, it's a gold mine.
Right. Okay, so I get that. But buying a bunch of random discounted stuff doesn't mean profit, right? What's the strategy here? How do we make sure it's, we're making smart choices?
It's about knowing what to look for, definitely.
Yeah.
And then calculating your potential return on investment. You want to target those items that have a good sales history on Amazon, even better if they're in a category, that you're already familiar with.
Yeah, makes sense.
Smotherman actually gives you some formulas and tools in the book to analyze your potential profit margins. That includes like Amazon fees and storage costs, all that good stuff.
Oh, very cool.
And of course, we'll link those resources in the show notes.
Awesome. So it's a little more nuanced than just grabbing whatever's, 75% off, right?
Absolutely.
It's about calculated risks. I like that.
Yes.
Okay, let's skip ahead a few months. Let's go to May. Prime Day. Everyone's gearing up for Prime Day, right?
Prime Day. Prime Day. It's huge, obviously.
It's huge.
But Smotherman's a little cautious. He says, don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Okay, yeah, I hear that.
He says May's the month to capitalize on a sort of a niche event, which is Father's Day.
So while everyone's focused on Prime Day, we're sneaking in with some, awesome dad gifts.
Sneaking in, yes.
I like it.
It's about diversification. That's the key.
Yeah.
Multiple streams of income. Don't underestimate those niche holidays. Even with all the Prime Day hype going on, you'll be tapping into a different market.
Makes sense.
And potentially, you could capture those sales from the buyers who aren't into all the, the whole Prime Day craziness.
Right. They're just looking for that perfect gift for dad. Okay, one last sneak peek before we dive really deep. September. September, I'm already getting a little stressed just thinking about it. The holidays.
I know what's coming.
But Smotherman, he says September is actually the most crucial month to focus on your product listings, right?
Yeah.
I usually get so caught up in getting the inventory in and everything, I totally forget about the listings themselves.
Yeah.
So what's the key here?
Make those listings shine. Get them ready for that holiday rush. Think about those festive images, those gift-giving keywords. You might even want to adjust your pricing strategy. September. That's your chance to capture those early birds, the ones already browsing, adding stuff to their wish lists.
It's like giving your listings a little makeover to catch their eye.
Exactly.
Smart. Okay, so we have a sense of the monthly roadmap. It's awesome. But let's get real. How do we manage all these moving pieces?
Yeah.
Inventory, marketing, finances. It feels overwhelming.
Yeah, I know. Don't worry. The book goes into all of those essential aspects. Let's start with inventory management, because that's a big one. One of the biggest misconceptions that Smotherman debunks is that more inventory equals more profit.
Oh, I've definitely fallen into that trap before.
Yeah, we all have.
I'm like, more is always better.
Not necessarily.
Yeah.
Not necessarily. It's about having the right amount of inventory. Too much, you're drowning in storage fees. Too little, well, you're missing out on sales. Smotherman, he introduces this concept of sales velocity.
Sales velocity. Is that how fast your products are selling?
Exactly. How quickly that inventory is moving. The book has a few different formulas to calculate this. Don't worry, we'll put those in the show notes too.
Perfect.
But essentially, you want to find that sweet spot. Enough stock to meet the demand without those pesky storage fees eating your profits.
Okay, so we need to crunch some numbers, not just blindly order
Right.
a ton of everything. I can see how that would make a huge difference. Okay, now let's talk about the beast, marketing on Amazon. What are some of those must-knows from the book?
Yeah, you've got to master Amazon's PPC advertising.
PPC.
It's key. It's not just about throwing money at ads. It's about targeting the right audience.
Ah, okay, that makes sense. I've definitely felt like lost in the PPC jungle before.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, what specific tactics does he recommend, Smotherman?
He's really big on keyword research. You got to understand, what are those terms that your potential customers are actually using to find products like yours? Then you can use those keywords in your ad campaigns, make sure you're reaching the right people.
Okay.
He also gives some really helpful tips on bid optimization, which is, how much you're willing to pay for each click on your ad.
Right, so there's more strategy to it than I initially thought. It's not
Yeah.
just setting it and forgetting it, right?
Oh, no, no, no. What else should we be thinking about in terms of marketing? Don't underestimate the power of seasonal promotions. I know we talked about, Prime Day and Father's Day, but think about other opportunities. Back to school, Black Friday, Cyber Monday.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Lots of chances to get creative, boost your sales.
I love it, yeah. And then the product listings themselves. I mean, you mentioned making them shine for the holidays, but what about the rest of the year? How do we make sure that those listings are really converting those browsers into buyers?
Smotherman, he breaks it down. It's like a whole science, crafting these compelling product listings. It's a combination of factors. First, you need a strong product title, grabs their attention, and it has to accurately reflect what you're selling. Think about those keywords again.
Yeah,
What would people use to search for your product?
right,
Get those keywords in your title. Then you've got your bullet points.
right.
That's where you really highlight the key features, the
It's
benefit.
like a mini sales pitch right there on the page.
Exactly. And then finally, you got to have those high-quality images, to showcase your product in the best light. Think lifestyle shots, detailed close-ups, anything that helps the customer visualize themselves, owning and using your product.
I'm already feeling like more confident about this whole Amazon thing, but I gotta say, the financial side can be pretty stressful.
Yeah.
I'm already getting anxiety about like those holiday season expenses.
Yeah, I hear you. Financial planning is crucial any business, especially on Amazon. And lucky for us, Smotherman dedicates like a whole section of the book to this. He stresses the importance of budgeting for those Amazon fees.
Right, because they can really add up if you're not careful.
They can sneak up on you, yeah.
Yeah.
Smotherman, he breaks it down, all those different fees, referral fees, fulfillment fees, storage fees. He gives you tips on how to factor all those costs into your pricing, your profit calculations.
Okay, that's super helpful. Anything else we should be thinking about on that financial front?
He's also a big advocate for reinvesting a portion of your profits back into your business.
Right, back into the business. I mean, that can be tempting to skip, especially when you're first starting out. Every dollar feels precious.
Yeah.
Why is that reinvesting so crucial, though?
It lets you grow,
Okay.
to expand your business over time, whether that's buying more inventory, investing in new marketing strategies, or even hiring help.
Yeah.
Reinvesting those profits, that's what fuels that long-term success.
Right. It's that long game. It's not just chasing the quick wins. Now, what about those tax deductions? I always feel like I'm missing out on some potential savings there.
Yeah, the dreaded taxes. Smotherman has some good insights on that too.
Okay, good.
He emphasizes tracking all your business expenses throughout the year, everything. Sourcing trips, packaging supplies, shipping costs, even the software subscription you use to manage your listings.
Oh, so all of that stuff is potentially deductible.
It is, yeah. Meticulous record keeping, that's your best friend.
Yes.
Come tax season, absolutely. But always a good idea to consult with a tax professional. Make sure you're maximizing those deductions and following all the rules, the legal stuff.
Right, right, of course. This is pure gold.
Okay, last question before we wrap up part one, because I'm feeling pretty ambitious about this whole Amazon thing.
Yeah.
What if I want to take it to the next level? Is that even possible?
Absolutely it is. And you're in luck.
Okay, good.
Smotherman doesn't just leave you hanging. He has a whole section all about scaling up your business.
All right, I'm all ears. Give me a sneak peek.
Well, for starters, you don't have to do everything yourself, right?
Right.
He talks about virtual assistants.
Virtual assistants, like people who can help me with all those tasks that are eating up all my time?
Exactly. They can handle customer service, order processing, social media, even product research.
Wow.
It's like an extra set of hands without the overhead of hiring someone full time.
Right, that's a game changer.
Yeah. Especially when you're starting out, maybe you have a limited budget. What else? What else is in store for those of us looking to scale up?
He talks about expanding into the international marketplaces,
Oh, okay.
like Amazon UK, Germany, Canada.
Wow, going global. That's a pretty exciting thought.
Right.
But isn't that like super complicated dealing with different languages, different
It
regulations?
can be a little daunting.
Yeah.
But Smotherman breaks it down. It makes it seem more achievable. He
Okay.
talks about using translation services.
Oh, okay.
So you can create those, those localized listings that resonate with those international buyers.
Right.
And there are resources, that guide you through the specific regulations of each marketplace.
Okay.
So you're not just throwing your product in there and hoping for the best.
Right. It's about strategic expansion. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
He suggests starting with just one new market,
Mhm.
test the waters, before diving into multiple countries.
Okay, that makes me feel a lot more comfortable, like just dipping our toes in the international pool before, doing a cannonball.
There you go.
So let's say we're rocking it on Amazon, we got our virtual assistants, we're even selling internationally. What's next? Like, is there even another level?
There is.
Okay, good.
This is where things get really interesting.
Okay.
Remember we talked about diversifying those income streams?
Yeah.
Beyond just Amazon? He goes into a lot more detail about this.
Okay, I'm all ears. Fill me in.
Okay, one of the paths he outlines is private labeling.
Private labeling.
It's creating your own unique brand of products and selling them under your own label.
Oh, okay, so instead of selling other people's products, we're building our own brand.
From scratch, yeah.
Okay.
It lets you build brand loyalty, control your pricing, and you can differentiate yourself from the competition.
I see how that would be super rewarding, building something truly unique.
It is.
Okay, what other options are there for diversifying?
Another path is exploring wholesale opportunities.
Okay.
This is where you're buying products in bulk from manufacturers or distributors, and then you resell them on Amazon, other platforms.
So, like, cutting out the middleman, getting even better profit margins.
Exactly. It's a different model, but it can be very profitable. Very profitable.
Okay.
And finally, he suggests considering launching your own Shopify store.
Wait, Shopify, isn't that like stepping outside of the Amazon ecosystem completely?
It is, but that's the whole point of diversification, right?
Mhm.
Having your own website gives you complete control. Your brand, your customer experience, your marketing, you're not limited by Amazon's, rules and fees.
Right.
It's more work, definitely, but the rewards are huge.
So it's like graduating from Amazon University and building our own e-commerce empire.
You got it. And while it might seem intimidating, Smotherman gives you some guidance on making that transition, setting yourself up for success.
I love it. This is amazing. We've covered so much ground already.
We have.
And it feels like we're just scratching the surface. We'll be back in part 2 to delve even deeper into these scaling strategies. And trust me, you don't want to miss it.
Welcome back to our deep dive into the Reseller's Guide to a Year in FBA. Last time we kind of left off on this exciting note, taking our Amazon business to the next level. I'm ready for more. Are you?
I am, but before we jump back into those scaling strategies, there's something Smotherman really emphasizes that I want to touch on. It's all about mindset.
Okay, mindset. I'm intrigued. What's the big takeaway here?
He talks about treating your Amazon venture like as a legitimate business, not just a side hustle, not a hobby.
Oh, I think a lot of people, myself included, kind of start with that hobby mind. So what does it actually look like to shift to that more business-oriented approach?
It's about dedicating consistent time and effort, even when it's not fun. It's not always glamorous. It's about setting clear goals, measurable goals, tracking your progress, and always learning and adapting, staying on top of things. So we're trading those comfy sweatpants for a power suit,
Yeah.
metaphorically speaking, of course.
Exactly. It's that CEO mindset, it allows you to make those smart decisions, manage your time effectively, and ultimately achieve those ambitious goals.
Okay, CEO mindset activated. Now, back to those scaling strategies. You mentioned virtual assistants in the last episode. I'll admit, I'm a bit of a control freak. How do I even know where to start with delegating tasks?
Think of virtual assistants as your secret weapon. They can handle those time-consuming tasks that can bog you down, and then it frees you up to focus on the big picture stuff.
Okay, I can see how that would be super helpful, but what kind of tasks are we talking about specifically?
Pretty much anything you can think of. Customer service, order processing, product research, social media management, even graphic design, you name it. There are VAs that specialize in all sorts of areas.
So basically, they're like superheroes who can save me from drowning in to-do lists.
Exactly. And the best part, you can find like really skilled VAs at affordable rates, especially if you're willing to work remotely.
That's a huge relief. I was worried about breaking the bank just to get some extra help. Okay, what about those international marketplaces? The thought of going global is exciting, but also a bit intimidating.
It can be, I get it. But Smotherman, he breaks down the process and makes it seem a lot more approachable. He talks about the potential reaching new customers, expanding your brand's reach. It's huge.
Right, right. But what about like the language barriers, the different regulations, all that jazz?
Those are valid concerns,
Yeah.
absolutely. But there are solutions. The book suggests finding translation services to help you create those product listings that resonate with those international buyers. And there are resources to guide you through the specific regulations of each marketplace.
So we're not just like tossing our products into a new market and hoping for the best.
No, definitely not. It's about strategic expansion. Smotherman even suggests starting with one new marketplace, just one. Test the waters before you go diving into multiple countries.
Okay, that's a relief. It's like dipping our toes in the international pool before doing a cannonball.
There you go.
So let's say we're like totally rocking it on Amazon. We've got our VA team. We're even selling internationally. What's next? Is there an even higher level to aspire to?
There is, and this is where things get really, really interesting. Remember how we talked about diversifying your income streams beyond Amazon?
Yeah, yeah.
Smotherman goes into a lot more detail about that.
I'm all ears. Fill me in.
Okay, one of the paths he outlines is private labeling.
Private labeling.
It's about creating your own unique brand of products
Okay.
and selling them under your own label.
Oh, okay. So instead of selling other people's products, we're like building our own brand from scratch.
Exactly. It lets you build that brand loyalty, you control your pricing, and you really differentiate yourself from the competition. You're no longer just another seller with the same products.
I can see how that would be super rewarding, building something truly unique. What other options are there for diversifying?
Another path is exploring wholesale opportunities.
Okay.
This is where you're buying products in bulk from manufacturers or distributors
Right.
and then reselling them on Amazon or other platforms.
Okay, so it's like we're cutting out the middleman, getting even better profit margins.
That's the idea.
Yeah.
And finally, he even suggests considering launching your own Shopify store.
Wait, Shopify, isn't that like stepping outside the Amazon ecosystem altogether?
It is, but that's the whole point of diversification, right? Having your own website gives you complete control
Okay.
over your brand, your customer experience, your marketing. You're not limited by Amazon's rules and fees.
Yeah.
It's definitely more work, more investment up front, but it can lead to greater success and financial freedom. You're not reliant on one platform.
Right, right.
You're spreading your wings, so to speak.
I'm definitely getting chills. It's amazing to see how many different paths are available to Amazon sellers. This book is like a roadmap to a whole world of possibilities.
It is. But before we get too carried away with dreams of e-commerce empires, I want to bring us back down to earth for a moment.
Uh-oh, what have I missed? Is there a catch?
Not necessarily a catch, but there's one crucial element that Smotherman keeps coming back to throughout the book that we haven't really discussed yet. It's all about data.
No.
Understanding and leveraging data to make those informed decisions about your business.
Okay, data. I can see how that's important, but to be honest, it feels a bit overwhelming sometimes. There's so much data out there. Where do you even begin?
That's where Smotherman's expertise really shines. He provides like this framework for analyzing all those different data points to gain valuable insights into your business performance.
Okay, but what kind of data are we talking about specifically? Paint me a picture.
Think about all the information you have as an Amazon seller. Your sales figures, your conversion rates, customer reviews, keyword search volume, competitor pricing, the list goes on.
It's like a data explosion.
It is.
But how do we actually use all that information to make better decisions?
It's all about spotting trends, identifying areas for improvement, and then taking action,
Yeah.
based on what the data is telling you.
So we're not just like relying on intuition or gut feeling anymore.
Not if you want to be successful. Data empowers you to make like those strategic evidence-based decisions. And that can significantly impact, your bottom line, your profits.
Can you give me like a specific example? Like how can data actually help me improve my business?
Sure. Let's say you're tracking your sales velocity, that metric we talked about earlier, right? If you notice a particular product is just flying off the shelves, boom, you need to order more inventory, like right now. On the other hand, if a product is just, sitting there collecting dust in the warehouse, You might need to adjust your pricing or even discontinue it.
So we're using data to make smarter decisions about inventory management. Okay, that makes sense. What else can data help us with?
It can also tell you which of your marketing campaigns are really working. Are your PPC ads generating sales, or are you just, throwing money away? Are your social media posts bringing people to your listings? Data can give you those answers.
It's like a secret decoder ring for our business.
It is.
Okay, so we're gathering all this data, we're spotting trends, we're identifying areas for improvement. But then what? How do we actually put that knowledge into action?
It's all about testing and tweaking. So you notice that a certain keyword is getting lots of clicks, but not many sales? Well, maybe you need to adjust your product listing or your targeting. If you see a bunch of negative reviews about one specific thing with your product, well, that's a sign you need to fix that.
So it's an ongoing process of refinement. We're never really done.
Exactly. And the best part is Amazon gives you a ton of tools and resources to track and analyze your data. It's about knowing where to look and how to interpret the information.
This is incredibly valuable. I'm
Mhm.
starting to see how data can be the real game changer for success on Amazon.
It is. It's not guesswork anymore. It's about making strategic, data-driven decisions to optimize every single part of your business.
Right.
But before you go running off to crunch numbers, there's one more piece of the puzzle we got to talk about.
Okay, I'm ready for the final piece. What is it? It's all about building systems and processes.
Yes.
Okay, I'll admit that doesn't sound quite as exciting as, launching a new product or going viral on TikTok, but I have a feeling it's pretty important.
Oh, it's crucial. Especially if you're serious about scaling your business. Imagine trying to manage hundreds, thousands of orders without any systems in place.
Yeah, that sounds like a nightmare.
It would be chaos.
Okay, so what kind of systems are we talking about here? Give me the rundown.
Smotherman, he breaks it down into a few key areas. First, you got your inventory management system, right?
Yeah.
We talked about tracking that sales velocity, making those data-driven decisions about restocking.
Right.
But you also need a system for actually receiving, inspecting, and prepping your inventory for those Amazon fulfillment centers.
Right, because if our products are arriving damaged or mislabeled, that's going to cause a lot of problems.
Big problems. Big, big problems.
Yeah, so true.
Then you need a system for managing those orders. And this includes everything: processing orders, printing shipping labels, handling those customer inquiries.
So we're basically creating a roadmap for every single order that comes in,
Yeah, you got it.
ensuring that it gets from point A to point B without any hiccups along the way.
Exactly. And the beauty of having these systems in place is that they can be automated to a large extent.
Oh, okay. Tell me more about that.
There are tons of software tools and services out there that can help you streamline all these processes, save you time and headaches down the road.
This is starting to sound less boring admin work and more like a superpower. Like we're talking efficiency on steroids. What other areas does Smotherman recommend systematizing?
He talks about having a system for managing your finances, which includes tracking your income and expenses, generating those financial reports, and even planning for those.
Taxes.
Yes, the taxes.
Eh,
You can't just wing it, especially as your business grows.
No, definitely not. Okay, so what else? What else is there?
Finally, he emphasizes the need for a system for managing your customer service. This is responding to inquiries, resolving issues, even getting feedback so you can improve your products and services.
So we're not just selling products, we're building relationships with our customers.
Exactly.
I can definitely see how that would pay off in the long run.
Long term, for sure.
Yep.
By investing in these systems and processes, you're building that solid foundation for your business that'll allow you to grow and scale without getting, you know,
Overwhelmed.
yeah,
Yeah. This is eye-opening. It's like we've been so focused on the doing that we've neglected the planning and the structuring part.
it happened.
It does. It does. But before we go any further, I want to kind of loop back to something you mentioned earlier, automation. It sounds like a dream.
It is.
But honestly, it also feels a bit intimidating. Where do we even begin with automating our businesses?
That's a great question, and it's something Smotherman addresses in the book. He says, start with those tasks that are most time-consuming, the repetitive ones. Think about the stuff you find yourself doing over and over again. Those are the ones you want to automate.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. So instead of manually entering data or copying and pasting information, we're finding ways to let technology do the heavy lifting.
Exactly. Work smarter, not harder.
I like that. Okay, so what are some specific tools or services that can help us with this?
Tons of options out there. Best choice is going to depend on your specific needs and your budget. But some popular categories, you got inventory management software, order management systems, customer relationship management, CRM tools, and accounting software.
I'm guessing a quick Google search would lead us down a rabbit hole of
Oh,
options.
yeah.
So, any tips on how to choose the right tools for our business?
Smotherman says, start by identifying your pain points. You know, what are those areas that are causing you the most frustration or taking up the most time? Once you know what you need help with, you can start researching those different tools.
Right.
Compare their features, their pricing, ease of use.
This is so helpful. I'm feeling much more confident about the prospect of automating my business now. It's not about replacing humans with robots. It's about,
Empowering.
yeah, empowering ourselves to work smarter, not harder.
That's it.
I like that.
Okay, so we've covered a year's worth of strategies, tips, insights from the reseller's guide to a year in FBA.
Huh.
I have to say, I'm feeling incredibly inspired and ready to take action.
Awesome.
Now, before we wrap up, what's like the one key takeaway that you want our listeners to remember from this deep dive?
I think the core message is success on Amazon, it's not about following a bunch of random tactics or tricks.
All right. It's about adopting this holistic approach to your business. It's about strategic planning, taking consistent action, making those data-driven decisions, and always being willing to learn and adapt.
So it's not just about what we do, it's about how we think about our businesses.
You got it. It's about developing that CEO mindset and approaching Amazon as a real business, not just a side hustle.
This has been incredible. We've covered so much ground, from those monthly action plans to scaling strategies to the power of data and automation. It's amazing.
And we've only scratched the surface.
Yeah.
There's a lot more to explore in the book itself.
Absolutely. Well, folks, there you have it, a deep dive into the world of Amazon FBA, guided by the wisdom of Stephen Smotherman. We hope you've gained some valuable insights and you're feeling fired up to implement what you've learned.
And remember, the journey doesn't end here. It's continuous learning, growth, and adaptation. Embrace those challenges, celebrate the wins, and never stop seeking new ways to,
Improve.
improve, yes.
Until next time, happy selling.